Hello, everyone. Official accountability, checking back in. I just wanted to start this video out by telling you guys that I really do appreciate you guys for emailing me and checking in on me and seeing if I'm good. I want to let you guys know that I'm doing great. All right, I'm fine. I did have a little hiccup going back to Europe and going back to Asia, and amongst other things, I had a really bad setback. All right, so now I'm back here in the States trying to get things back in order for me to fly back out again. So that's my current situation right now. Going forward, I did want to discuss a few things with you guys because I don't think I was really clear about one particular thing. I don't think I was clear a few videos ago. And the first thing I wanted to discuss is you're cooperating with law enforcement. You know, I understand you guys who are still on the registry or you still have a duty to go in and report and register and do all that other stuff. I understand that you guys still have to do that and you have to communicate with your registering officer, but just understand that when you go in there and when you speak with this guy or woman or whoever's handling what you have going on, just understand that there are your state requirements. All right. Your state requirements say the information that you are required to tell that individual when you go in there and make your reports. Understand this. This is very important because a lot of you're going in there and you're giving up more information than you need to. And it's crazy to me. All right. These people do not care about you. And I've had this as well. All right. That when I was registering in my hometown, what would happen is I would go in there and I would meet with the registering officer, and the guy would be so cool. You know, he'd be like, hey, how you doing? You know, how you been? You know, how's life? You know, he's laughing it up, shaking my hand and doing all this and that. But what he's really trying to do is get me to be comfortable with him so that I will offer him information that will help him investigate me. That's not a friend of me. All right. So what happened was I started going in there and eliminating all conversation that had nothing to do with the paper that was right there in front of me. All right. If it was not there on the paper, if I was not getting ready to put my initials by that requirement, I would not go in there and discuss it. And I saw that it was frustrating him. It really was. So he kind of started to give me a hard time about it, but luckily for me, I left the county in time. So he really didn't have anything to put on me. He has been trying to fuck with me. Yes. So there was a time where I flew out. I arrived at the airport to fly out back to Europe. And as I'm going through TSA, I get stopped right after I make it through. And I think I told this story in a different video, but yeah, I ended up getting stopped and I got interrogated on where I was headed and why I'm leaving and stuff like this. It was really interesting because I had left the country 4 or 5 times before and that had never happened to me. You know, it was as if I was being sent to secondary for leaving the country. It was interesting. I did go through quite a bit of a hassle leaving the country this time, and I think it was because of him. I think he sent a notification to the airport that I was leaving. He found out, he was communicating with the U.S. Marshals and doing all this other stuff, but he was trying to make my life a living hell, and it was because I was no longer required to give him any information that was right there, that was not right there in front of me. So, I mean, you do whatever you want to do with this information, but it is my suggestion that when you go in there and you communicate with your registering officer, that you don't give up too many details about yourself, all right? And for damn sure, don't give up too many details about anyone else. That's just as smart as I can put it, all right? The next thing I wanted to go over was you cutting out the toxic people in your life. I'm saying it because ever since, I haven't really had to deal with the same issues as a lot of you have, but there's been a few toxic people that have came in, you know, that have made hell for me being on the registry at the time. And since I cut those people out, since I stopped communicating with those people, I haven't really had any issues. All right. My mental health has been stable. You know, I'm not aggressive. I'm not upset like I used to be. And I understand that I made a mistake just as well as you guys have. And you want to move forward. But the only way you're going to do that is if you get rid of these toxic people. These people who want to make hell for you and come in and expose you, so to speak. That's not really doing you any favors. So why keep them around? Why respond to comments that you don't have to respond to? So, oh, and I do want to add to that specifically, commenting. When you comment, when you open yourself up to put information out there to the public, you need to understand that you need to be ready to answer questions associated with that, all right? They're going to want to question what they're being told from you. So if you can't converse in a manner that's going to help them understand, then just don't put the information out at all. Keep it to yourself. Don't say anything, all right? It's not going to benefit you. And this is the same thing that I say when you're cooperating with law enforcement. You're a registering officer, or hell, even being pulled over by the cops. There was a time a few weeks ago that I had been pulled over by the Texas State Trooper, and this guy was wanting to know how long I had been in Texas and where I'm headed and this and that, but I refused to answer any questions because that was not relevant to his stop. He was stopping me for expired registration in which I had literally renewed that very same day. He's trying to tell me that it doesn't update in their system for 24 hours. It was so damn ridiculous. Like, okay, so I guess I'm supposed to wait 24 hours to drive? I don't give a fuck what's in your system. I'm allowed to drive. So when they start asking me all sorts of other questions, you're like, no, I'm not required to answer that. All right? I'm really not required to even ID myself because you had no lawful reason to stop me. My tags are current. You pulled me over for tags that were expired, and yet you're looking at current tags. So he had no legal right to stop me. Therefore, I didn't have to ID myself. I didn't have to answer any questions. I didn't have to do not a damn thing for that guy. And I understand there are people just like you and me, but their job is different from my job. Their job is to try to lock me up for shit that I'm not even doing. My job is to try to stay free and counter that type of bullshit, just like it's yours, all right? So let's move forward, all right? Just cut out the toxic people in your life. That's going to be very great and very beneficial to you, all right? It's made my life very peaceful ever since I first left the country. You know, I've had hiccups, but, you know, hey, these things happen. But for the most part, I've had a blast. I've enjoyed my life. I've seen countries that I didn't think that I was going to be able to see. You know, I got to see things in the world and meet some amazing people that I didn't think I was ever going to meet. I didn't know exist, you know. And this is all by cutting out the toxic people in my life and not cooperating with law enforcement on a level that didn't require me to do so. All right. You guys have also been asking me about travel plans. So I will say that my current travel plans are not really plans at this point. Right now, I want to kind of get my life back in order, and then I will be back out again. You know, I've been back for maybe 3-4 months now, and maybe another 2 months, I'll be ready to fly back out again. But right now, I really don't have any set plans. I do want to try to make it into South America, Central America, and see what else is out there for me other than Asia and Europe. We already know we can get in there, and we already know how to go about, well, especially me, I've learned how to go about getting into certain places, even by making mistakes that have been very costly for me. I do want to try to come up with something different, you know, other than what I'm reading on the blogs and the forum sites and all the other places, all right? So I currently have no travel plans, just so you know. Let's see, what else we got? I do want to discuss the Airbnb situation. So when I was in Poland, I did have an Airbnb account. I never used it, but I did register it, all right? I registered my Airbnb while I was in Poland, and they asked me for my passport. They asked me for all my other credentials, and I did upload. I submitted everything. I told the truth. And after I did that, even though I wasn't using Airbnb because I was using the booking app, you know, the hotels on the booking app overseas were very, very cheap. You know, I didn't have any complaints. When I did decide to use the Airbnb in Thailand, this was almost 2 months later. I go back to look at the Airbnb apartments and rentals on the app, and I found out that I had been removed. When I emailed the company, I got no response. They refused to respond to me. Several emails later, still no response. I could only chalk it up to that I had been removed just because I was on the registry. They don't understand that I'm not on the registry currently. It's just Texas. They won't take the shit down, even though they said that they would. It's total bullshit, all right? When I went back and I read the terms and conditions of Airbnb, they do have a section in there that does talk about people on the registry not being allowed to have an account. So they do make it very clear in their terms of use. So just so you know, you're really not supposed to be on there, but if they find out about you, they can remove you, and they will remove you, rightfully so. But there's also people in my group that have been on the registry or currently still are on the registry, and they still have Airbnbs, and they're renting quite fine. They're not having any issues. So maybe it's just those that they, you know, decide to look up. I don't know. I haven't been able to figure it out. But I will say that there are a couple other sites that you can use, and I've read the terms of use in these particular sites, and I didn't see anywhere in the terms of use that said that people on the registry can't have accounts with them, all right? So these may be an alternative solution for you. And these are HomeAway, VRBO, and I believe it's Home2Go. Those are 3 other sites that you can definitely use. And I'm saying that because I'm confident with what I'm telling you, all right? I did go read the terms of use, as I've said, and I did not see anywhere in there that people on the registry couldn't have an account. However, on Airbnb, I did read those terms of use, and it does say in there that you're not supposed to have an account. So make with whatever you'd like to make of it, all right? Another thing I wanted to discuss is the Uber situation. Like Airbnb, I did see in the terms of use that if you're on the registry, you're not allowed to have an Uber account. However, you can have an Uber Eats account. You can order food, but rideshare apps, Lyft, Uber, you're not allowed to have an account here in the US if you're on the registry. I did read this in the terms of use of both companies. I will say this though, while I was overseas in Asia and Europe, they don't have Uber, but I did find out that Uber is owned by, that there's a company called Bolt. Bolt is now owned by Uber, right? So I don't know if they're going to try to incorporate their rules and policies to Bolt overseas. I don't know. But my whole time, my whole year and a half being overseas, back and forth, I've used Bolt nonstop and I haven't had any issues, all right? I still have my profile and my profile is still active. So Bolt is an alternative if you are overseas. They also have Volt. This is Germany. I know Poland has Volt also, but there's Bolt and then there's Volt. Volt is more like a food app. And then Bolt also has an Eat app. You can have accounts for all of those overseas. But in the US, you're not allowed to have Uber. You're not allowed to have Lyft, but you can have Uber Eats. It's just crazy to me. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to, touch base with you guys. I know I've been out for a few months. I'll try to get a little more consistent with the videos, but going forward, this is really all I have to tell you guys. Just take into consideration what I said. If you have any questions, comments, or concern, definitely shoot me an email. And to also end this video off, I will let you guys know that we do have a WhatsApp group. There's a WhatsApp group, and then there's a Telegram group. The Telegram group, you're going to get your answers answered quickly by those who are currently traveling. And they're going to go into detail with you. All right. Visit the site that we have right here on the screen. It's RWB, info.com. Sorry, I had a brain. Anyway, yeah, just check out the website and sign up for an account and shoot me an email if you want to join the WhatsApp group. It's totally free if you want to join the WhatsApp group. But if you want to join the Telegram group where they're sharing all the solid information, that's going to be a $15 membership fee, and it's totally worth it. All right. Trust me. I've lost thousands and thousands of dollars to bring you these answers that they're not going to give you in the WhatsApp group. I'm just being honest with you. All right. So shoot me an email. My email is on the screen or in the description box, and let's work together, man. You guys stay safe and take care.